I just realized I was going through some stuff. Here's the PCV for this thing. I had one. I just haven't replaced it, so I'm going to try to replace it, see if there's any difference. A little oily there. It's not cool. But yeah, I'm going to replace it real quick and then check and see if that makes any difference. Alright, it's installed. A lot of people overlook PCV valves. Wouldn't be the first time that I got my ass kicked by a PCV valve. Happened to me on a Toyota. That was it, RAV4. Kicked my butt pretty good. I had to... What did I do to that? Oh, it had a whole bunch of stuff that I had to repair because a squirrel or something like ate a whole bunch of wires and all kinds of stuff. So I actually had to... where is this thing here? I actually had to take the intake manifold off to repair wires and some plastic that was eaten up. And while I had the intake manifold off, I figured I'm going to do this guy a solid and clean his really dirty throttle plate. His throttle body was super dirty. So I cleaned his throttle plate, and then I was chasing this, I think it was a P0105 code. I can't remember the code. I think it's P0105. But I was chasing it. I'm like, what the hell? I thought it was something wrong with the throttle body since I cleaned it. I was scoping the throttle body. It was 106 or something. P0106. I can't remember. But either way, my fuel trims were... What were they? I can't remember. I think the fuel trims were lean. But it was the PCV valve. So I changed the PCV valve and solved the problem. But it kicked my butt. What happened was since I cleaned the throttle body, the minimum idle went down, so it was kind of like messed up. And my neighbor's gonna crash their car for some reason. I guess they think my van is way too close to theirs. Oh my God, what is she doing? Crazy. Anyway. So, with automatic. Always seems like I have to hit it twice with this. Any pending codes? No pending codes. Review codes. I already did that. Stupid. I don't feel like doing that because it's not heated up yet. Drivability, emissions, fuel, misfire, O2. I should probably just go in generic. Looking at my fuel trims, and I think I could have sworn I replaced all these O2 sensors when I had the engine out, but I've just found an O2 sensor in there. I have to check the part number. I don't know if here's my fuel trims. Cool. Let's do the open. This. Yeah, that's good enough. What are we at here? Long trim is at 5. -5 still. It is better though. Huh. How about that? Now this probably isn't in loop yet. No, it's closed. Same closed loop. How about that? I wish I could adjust these in a different order. I think there's a trick to it, but I don't know it. So, all right, this is bank 1, and that's bank 2. All right, that'll work. That's bank 1, and that's bank 2. All right, that'll work. Let's go. I could have sworn I changed that PCV valve a while ago. I'm in there looking around for stuff, and I find all this stuff. I might have gotten the PCV valve late, and I just said, whatever. I don't know. No idea. But where are we at here with our... See, this is a little different now. Long term, 1 and 2, 5, -6. So I'm still negative on bank 1. But it's not at like 14% like it was. I'm gonna have to drive it first, take it for a little spin. PCV system, buddy. Gotta pay attention to the PCV. Alright, so now I'm in gear. So, alright, I went into gear, it dropped down a little. -6. What is my short term? Right around 0. Alright, I'm going to take it for a little spin. Yeah, Ross, race car. Well, see the short term just drops down. O2 sensor, was that bank 1? Sensor 2. It's not as easy to read this as it is the Think tool. But I keep getting burned on the older cars. This is a 2003, so I'm going to start trying to use this tool more often for basically anything older than like 2009 or 2010. This screen sucks so bad. It's working great now because it's super cloudy out today, and I'm obviously in the car, but when I'm outdoors, holy crap, I can't read it at all. So I'm not going to sit here and record this whole thing. I'm just going to drive around a little bit and then pick it back up, see what's going on here with this thing. Try not to crash while I'm driving, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, a couple miles in, I noticed right around 5 on, was it long term on bank 1, which is the best it's ever been. It's usually around 14 or 10. So that definitely made a difference. I wasn't expecting that. After seeing the oil soaked PCV, I guess I was expecting something. This thing doesn't have a problem with burning oil. The exhaust doesn't indicate that there's any oil being burned. This thing's running pretty good. What's the long term on bank 2 is positive, which is a little weird. Short term is negative, so I think it's trying to correct. And short term on bank 1 is that positive? So we're like hovering around. It's hard to see with them all. From the top row, it's 1 long trim bank 1, then it's long trim bank 2, then it's short trim bank 1 and bank 2. Seems to be running pretty dang good. I'll tell you, I'm trying like hell to avoid doing a injector balance test on this thing. Maybe one day I'll actually do that. I keep saying I'll do it, but I don't know. But -6 is, like I said, I think the highest I saw it go was -7. This thing is running the best it's run. PCV valve, huh? Who would have thunk? Pulled over on the side of the road. It's about as good as it's going to get. A little weird. I got positive trims on bank 2. Not going to sweat it. It's under 10. And that side is negative, which is just a little weird. Short terms are pretty close to 0. Might have to just drive it some more, but my O2 sensor, nice and steady. What do we got here for downstream? Bank 1 is at about 680, and bank 2 is about a little higher, about the same pretty much. So that's pretty good. One last thing that needs, doesn't really need to be done, but an oil change. Last time I did an oil change was when I did the timing chain set. That was, when the hell was it? That was like July. It was in July. It's now January, and I don't even know how many miles I put on it. Probably like maybe 1,000 miles. I got 146.8, and last time it was inspected was 144.8. So hasn't even been it's only been 2,000 miles since I've had the car inspected. So I'm guessing maybe 1,000 miles I put on it, maybe if that. But I still want to change the oil again anyway. And that's pretty much it for now. I have to crawl under this to see if I change that O2 sensor or not, because I don't know where that O2 sensor came from. I found a brand new O2 sensor. I found it, right with the PCV valve, which I thought I replaced. But I mean, those O2 sensors are working fine. Like I said, I thought I replaced all 4 of the O2 sensors just because I had the engine out. And with the mileage on it, I did a bunch of stuff, plugs and, all that crap. I had it all out and apart, so why not? Everything looks great, though. It wasn't throwing a check engine light or nothing, but I was just curious if I can get that bank 1 trim down closer to 0. It was usually around 14, right around there, hovering between like 17 and 11. So right around 14 was pretty much where it was at all the time. Then when I did the EGR valve, I got rid of my rough idle that I had, but the trims really didn't come down much at all. Maybe a couple percent. Nothing noticeable. But the PCV that was the biggest jump that it's had. And right now my O2 sensors are acting a little weird downstream. But I've been sitting here idling, so that's it. I'm done. Still not going to do a injector balance test. Maybe. Who knows?